Today we're talking about not burning out on gaming or on life. And maybe it's kind of a midlife crisis thing. You start to feel like life is freaking you out because you're mortal and you're going to die. You're not going to be there forever. And it's kind of just a, oh shoot, kind of a thing, right? Or maybe you think to yourself, gee, is that all there is? Isn't there something more to life? Or have I peaked already, you know? And we go through these thoughts, and it's kind of like that game. You put a bunch of hours into that game, and then you're thinking, this isn't good enough. Like, it needs to be more. It needs to be better. I saw this post from somebody on a Elder Scrolls Online forum, and this guy says, I've put 6,000 hours into the Elder Scrolls Online and is starting to feel a little bit stale to me. What do I do to keep it interesting? And what I said in response was, maybe it's time for you to just accept that you're a casual because you've done all the content you needed to do in the game. So you just pop in a little bit here and there, and don't expect the game to be a really big part of your life if you've already gotten a lot of value out of it. And that's kind of how we go about life sometimes. We grind away our lives on these really repetitive lifestyles, maybe grinding a career or chasing something, and then we start to feel drained and tired of it and burned out. And it all comes down to, if you try to get life to provide you with an overarching sense of meaning, it's going to let you down, because life is not really about giving anyone a sense of supreme purpose. It just is what it is. We live and we die. And that doesn't mean that our lives have no value. It doesn't mean that our lives are purposeless. It's just, the more you try to chase a sense of purpose and fulfillment, the more you're going to wind up feeling unfulfilled, because nothing's ever going to be good enough. You're looking for that ultimate encounter that's going to just be a mountaintop experience. And then you realize there is no mountaintop experience. It's just normal stuff. And there's nothing wrong with a good, normal life. You just enjoy the experience. It doesn't have to be something more. And when you realize that, then you let go of chasing progression and you just allow yourself to be. Kind of like a tree out in the forest. It doesn't have to be a certain height. It doesn't have to do anything. It just is. That's the point of life. To just be yourself. And if you can go through every day not feeling like you needed today to be something more than what it was, then you're going to end every day feeling like you were enough and today was enough and your life is enough. And that's a really nice feeling. To not feel like there's this stuff you need to do that you should have done yesterday and you should have done today. And then you let yourself and others down because you didn't do enough and you weren't enough. That's a burden that nobody should have to bear. We should just allow ourselves to be human. That doesn't mean that we don't have goals. It doesn't mean we don't have a to-do list. It doesn't mean we don't have a sense of purpose in what we do. It's just we don't have to be more than what we are to be fulfilled. And it's important to remember that so that we don't always go through these cycles of getting burned out on things from grinding too much or being frustrated because we feel like our lives don't have enough meaning, or getting discouraged because we feel like we should have accomplished more than what we did. We do it with our careers, with games, with hobbies, with our pastimes, our personal goals, our sense of accomplishment and progression in life all the time. And sometimes it's important to just let go of those things and accept there's going to be things I never get to in life. There's going to be games I don't ever play. There's going to be achievements I don't ever win. And I don't have to. And that's surrender. You know, I was raised in a Christian environment, and I remember going to a camp meeting for church, and the preacher would give a traditional sermon, and then there'd be an altar call, and you'd go up there to give your heart to the Lord. And I remember going up to the altar to devote my heart and life to Jesus. And I was kneeling there praying. And there was this sense that I needed to be there because I needed to work through something. And that was kind of this understanding everyone had there in the culture of that place and time, that you would go up to the altar and you would kneel down and you would pray in silence, quietly to yourself. And you would be honest before yourself and before God. And you would stay there kneeling until you had a breakthrough of some kind. And sometimes people would go down there and they would stay for quite some time. And I remember that feeling of trying to give up whatever it was that wasn't right inside me that I needed to give up to the Lord. And, you know, I don't know if I ever really fully worked that out. But then as life's passed, I became an agnostic, and now I look at life from a more of a middle way perspective. And I think to myself, what you have to do is you have to surrender that desire to be in control of your life. You have to surrender that feeling that you need to be part of everything, that you need to master everything, that feeling that you're not good enough, that feeling that life isn't enough just the way it is, that feeling that you need to reach out and find another thing to dabble in, another distraction to mire yourself in. Maybe it's playing that game that you like, and then there's another one in the Steam shop that's on sale, and you're always jumping back in to find some new thing. You didn't even finish the things that you were doing before you jumped into something new because the flashy advertisement said that that was going to be the next great adventure that was going to be transformative to your experience. You know, we spend our lives chasing things. We're always jumping from one thing into another thing. We feel like we can't just be present in what we're doing because there's so much we need to do. We get into this state of being overwhelmed. And the truth is, we can't find peace by finding the golden ticket. We can't find peace by finding the perfect game to play, or the perfect career, or the perfect family or whatever it is that we're chasing. Because as long as you're looking for the best thing, for the perfect thing, you're going to always come up short, because it's never going to live up to that. And you're always going to be looking and chasing and hoping and worrying and trying to micro manage and juggle. And you're just going to have this constant exhaustion in your mind. And in Christianity, that was described as being concerned with the cares of this world instead of the kingdom of heaven. But what is the kingdom of heaven if it isn't a place of peace and rest and tranquility and wholeness? And the pursuit of that has to be to stop pursuing some of the things of this world. The things that are always there to tell us we have to give our attention to that. The things that always prevent us from just being present in what we're doing, because they're saying there's something better right around the corner. There's something more you could be or could have or could do. So today's never good enough. Our lives are never good enough. And yet we know, some part of us knows that life is good enough. See, it's not that we need to find something more perfect or more complete. It's that we need to stop fighting against the law of nature, the foundational truth that life is complete, just the way it is. So if you feel like you're bogged down with worry and conflicting thoughts and ideas and all of those things that just make you restless all the time, just know you probably don't need to find something new or something better. You need to surrender something. You need to accept that life is good the way it is. And stop looking for something out there, and instead allow yourself to find peace with that which you already have inside, with that which is already present, with the things that you're already doing right now. Good luck in your journey. Till next time. Thank you for watching.